What's going on, everyone? Dan Murphy here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about the cryptocurrency market and what appears to be a massive crash that we've seen right now in the prices of pretty much everything. When you go down this list on CoinMarketCap, you can see that we're looking at double-digit reds of basically everything across the board. With losses of 10%, 20%, 30% or more in pretty much everything except USD Tether. And you know, seeing these losses, it's easy to get concerned. And, a lot of this, I'm not exactly sure what is causing such a significant crash like this. It's most likely a number of different factors. Um, there was the situation where CoinMarketCap, they removed all of the price listings from the South Korean exchanges, which oftentimes list all the various cryptocurrencies at a premium. So the Korean exchanges prices are much higher compared to other exchanges. So simply by removing those higher prices from the Korean exchanges, it kind of just lowered the price of everything. And that caused a significant dip across the board of everything. And seeing that significant dip, it could have triggered some amount of panic selling, which would then cause prices to drop even further. Maybe we're seeing this play out a little bit more. But honestly, when I see this, your initial gut reaction is to, have, some amount of, FUD, the fear, anxiety, or the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But when you step back and kind of think about things for a little bit more and kind of look at it objectively, you need to realize that stuff like this is going to happen. Cryptocurrency, it is an extremely volatile market. And, it's a market where, while yes, we do see massive gains, we see days where cryptocurrencies are gaining in value by, 20%, 30%, even 50 to 100% gains in a single day. So, I think it's only reasonable to expect that, excuse me, it's only reasonable to expect that if you're going to see massive gains of 50 to 100%, that you're also at some point going to see very significant losses to a similar degree. Now, we're not seeing losses of 50 to 100%, or at least for the most of these cryptocurrencies, but we are seeing very significant losses of 20 to 30% pretty much across the board. Now, for the larger cap cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum, the losses are not as significant. However, they are still very large. But again, I think this, to me, really, I just see this as an opportunity. Where most people would see fear, you need to try and be more of an objective investor and just kind of look at this as really, from what I see it at least, I see this as a massive buying opportunity. See, this is an opportunity to pick up on some of these cryptos at what is essentially a discount. So, while my initial reaction was that of worry and some anxiety, it didn't take me very long to realize that this is actually a massive opportunity and would be a great time to essentially load up on your positions, or maybe start investing into something that you haven't invested into yet because the price was too high and you didn't think it was a good time to get in. Well, now is the perfect time to get in. If you haven't invested yet, or you were considering investing into something, these are the market conditions. These are the days that you want to look out for when you're considering buying. As just a general rule of thumb, I think it's a good idea to try and buy only when something is in the red, because that again kind of plays into the conventional investing wisdom of you want to be buying low and selling high. So when everything is low like this, that's when you want to buy. You'll buy in the dips, buy the dip, and then sell when it eventually does go back up, because it will go back up. Now, whether or not we're going to reach the exact point where we are of the previous levels, I think very likely we will. As for how long that will take, I can't say for sure. But you also have to consider that almost everything was at an all-time high. And we're seeing a correction right now. The prices are going back down. People are selling. There's probably a lot of people are trying to lock in their profits because almost everything was at an all-time high not too long ago. I remember Ripple was somewhere around like $3.50 at its all-time high, and that was a massive gain from previous levels of kind of where it was at now. And even still, looking at all these dips here, everything's going down. Just keep it in perspective of we are still most of these prices are still far ahead of previous levels from a month or 2 months ago. Because I remember Litecoin was like $60 to $70, and we're still more than double that. So even though we're still seeing significant pullbacks, a lot of these prices are still way higher than previous levels. So I think in general we're still doing really well, at least in terms of previous levels from a couple months ago. 'Cause, I mean, take a look at I'll just take a look at Bitcoin real quick. I remember when Bitcoin was trading somewhere around 7 or 8 thousand, and we're still up several thousand from those levels. Now, seeing the pullback from previous highs, I know it hurts, but you still have to consider the fact how much Bitcoin has gained in value over the long term. Over the past 6 months, past 8 months, past year or so. So, while yes, Bitcoin is down right now, we're still we're still above 10K. I remember when we first hit 10K, and that was a really big deal, because it was a big deal. That was an all-time high for Bitcoin. So again, I think now would be a good time to consider buying more Bitcoin, and not just Bitcoin, but pretty much any other cryptocurrency that maybe you've been considering buying, and you just want to um, you want to buy more and just further solidify your position in these cryptocurrencies, because again prices being down like this is a perfect time to buy. And when you're talking about buying low and selling high, this is the perfect opportunity right now. So just in terms of the investing fundamentals, when you're talking about buying low and selling high, this is the low. We're in a low right now, so this is when you want to buy. This is the perfect time. And this reminds me of a quote that, or a saying that Warren Buffett had. And now I realize that Warren Buffett, he is not a big fan of cryptocurrencies, but I still think that his knowledge of just the fundamentals of investing is still worth something. And I still think that his understanding of market psychology is also something that it still applies to the cryptocurrency market. So I think we can still learn a lot from Warren Buffett, even though while he personally may not be a big fan of crypto, the man definitely understands investing, and he definitely understands market psychology, and that's pretty much what it comes down to in terms of investing. It's really just market psychology and being able to identify trends and understand how the market's moving. But as for what Warren Buffett said, he had a saying that kind of went something like this. I don't think this is an exact quote or anything, but something more along the lines of, you know, when there's blood in the streets and everyone else is scared, that's when you want to get greedy. So, this is one of those moments where there's blood in the streets. Everything's down. We're seeing double-digit reds across the board. People are scared. This is the time to buy. This is the time to get greedy, because you're essentially seeing all these various cryptocurrencies being available as what essentially 20% discount, 30% discount. And again, when I look at all these, I'm looking at all these different cryptocurrencies. Some of these are ones that I considered investing into before, but it just wasn't the right time. They were at all-time highs, or it was just a really high price relative to the previous levels, and I didn't want to buy in because I don't think it's a good idea to buy in at all-time highs, because if you do, you can get, pretty seriously punished by some of these corrections we're seeing right here. But if you buy at a significant dip, like we're at right now, you are so much more likely to end up making money off of that exchange. Because while yes, they could continue to go lower, there's no guarantee that it's not going to continue to go lower. But other people have a similar mentality where they're also trying to buy low and sell high. So, other people, other investors, they're going to identify that this is a buying opportunity, and they're going to start buying these cryptos, and that's going to cause the price to go back up. So, that's the market cycles. That's how it works. But me personally, looking at this list, I actually last night when I saw that a lot of the prices were going down very significantly, I actually made my first investments into Golem. Now, Golem is a project that I have talked about previously on my channel. Basically, the idea behind Golem is that they're trying to create a decentralized network of a decentralized supercomputer network by, tying together all of the computational and processing power of everyone on the Golem network and being able to offer that computational power as a service. And people that are part of the Golem network and that are offering their computational power, they will be rewarded in Golem tokens. So it's creating like a marketplace out of computer processing power. So I think that's a really cool idea. I definitely think there's a future for this technology, especially if you are someone that you either have a really powerful computer or you own a data center and you have a bunch of really powerful computers that are linked together. This Golem offers you another way to essentially monetize your processing power in additional ways because you're probably already using your computational power for some function that is either offering value for someone else or you're able to monetize that. But this is another way where you could monetize your processing power and create an entire new marketplace just from computer processing power, which I think is very interesting. But so that being said, um, I bought into Golem. I bought into Golem when it was at around 70 cents. So not quite the optimal level, but again, I saw that it was down like 28%, and I just figured, now is a good time to buy. It's down quite a bit. I'm buying in the dip, I'm buying low, and I went for it. So I made my first investments into Golem, and that's what you should be doing right now. You should either be, double down on your investments and buying more of what you already have, or maybe branch out into something new. And maybe you just want to buy more Bitcoin and you're not trying to experiment with altcoins or anything like that. But again, this is a really big opportunity right now. So I basically just want to make that very clear that while most people are going to interpret this as a negative thing, the smart investors, the wise investors are going to recognize this as an opportunity, and they're going to start buying up whatever they want, and trying to identify either those undervalued projects that they really like and that they think have potential, maybe cryptos that they've considered investing in, but it just wasn't the right time. The price wasn't really at a level that they were comfortable with buying. These are very good levels to be buying at least relative to previous all-time highs being down 20-30%. This is really a great opportunity to be investing more, in my opinion. So that's pretty much my opinions on this subject and how I feel about this quote unquote crypto crash. Maybe it's a crash, maybe it's not. It could just be a correction or a dip or what have you, but prices are down, but it's an opportunity. Definitely recognize that it's an opportunity. So hopefully I've been able to maybe alleviate some of your fears or some of the anxieties that maybe you had about this crash. Maybe you were really worried about this, but I think you can definitely put a positive spin on this, and rather than seeing this as like a really big negative thing, you could actually see it as a positive light in terms of just being a buying opportunity. Sometimes the best thing to do is to just, buy and hold, and just don't even look at the chart. Don't even look at the chart for, days or weeks. I mean, it really depends on how you feel about it and your own kind of tolerance for these massive fluctuations we see in the cryptocurrency market. Because me personally, I'm the kind of guy where I do like to check it very frequently. Maybe it's not the best way to do. Maybe it does end up stressing me out more, but I don't know. I just like to know where the market's at. I like to keep an eye on the price levels because I'm always looking out for those opportunities. I'm always looking out for what I think is the next great buying opportunity, because there's a ton of different cryptos on my radar, and it's tough because it's like I want to invest in everything, but I can't. Realistically, I can't invest in everything. I have to pick and choose and strategically invest in the projects that I think are offering real value, have a real world use case, and the technology is there. They have a good development team. Just trying to find just the best projects and the ones that have the most potential, and try and look at it that way. And I think that strategy is going to serve you very well. And if you do your research and you do the right fundamental analysis of the company and the project, and you pick the ones that you think make sense in terms of being a successful project and a successful company, but I think there's also some room to invest in just, kind of quote unquote pet projects and things that you actually like. For example, Golem. I really like the idea behind Golem. I mean, I also understand the fundamentals of what they're trying to do as a company. I think the technology is definitely there. I think there's definitely an opportunity for that kind of a market, offering and monetizing computer processing power and creating a global decentralized network supercomputer. I think that has a lot of potential. So I chose to invest. But I also chose to invest at the specific time I did because of the price action. So you want to do both. You want to evaluate these projects and these cryptos fundamentally, but you also want to watch the price action and pick strategic entry points in terms of the price action. Because I was keeping an eye on Golem, but I was watching Golem for a very long time, and I noticed that it was at an all-time high, so I didn't want to buy in at that point. But once I saw that it was down 28%, down 30%, that's when I chose to make my move. So you want to do both those things. Watch the price action, buy low, but also do your research and pick projects that have good fundamentals. But so yeah, I think with that, I'm going to conclude this video. Just wanted to kind of give you my opinion about this, crash, quote unquote, that we're seeing in the cryptocurrency market. And again, hopefully I've been able to alleviate some of your fears and anxiety regarding this, and just try and provide a more rational point of view and just looking at this objectively in terms of an investment opportunity, because there's definitely still a massive amount of opportunity out there. And moments like this, market conditions like this, it breeds opportunity. And if you can train yourself to look at it that way, you will do well. I have no doubt that you will be successful. So if you like this video or if you learned something here, give it a like, hit that thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you want to get more cryptocurrency related content. And with that being said, hope you had a great day, and peace out.